What is up, friends? This is Rus and you are on the Rubric channel. Today we have a long-awaited unboxing of this incredibly cool X-Men set. Here we have 393 pieces, set number 76 to 94. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minifigures, one buildable Sentinel figure. The set is 38 centimeters wide and 27 centimeters tall and about 25 centimeters deep. Dimension itself, judging by bloggers' reviews, is a bit small in proportion and doesn't look great among other Marvel sets. Nevertheless, we have to check it out, build it, especially since we'll be placing it on a mail's plate, and it will sit a bit higher in our city. When purchasing this set, there was this gift. This is Cerebro. There is also another minifigure of Professor Xavier, but I didn't manage to buy it. Literally just an hour difference, and I had to order it separately on eBay because I'm an X-Men fan and collect all Marvel sets, especially those released since I started collecting. So I had to buy it for for 70 bucks, but I'm sure it will only increase in value. This figure will only get more expensive accordingly. It's already worth about 100 bucks, so I'm already $30 in profit. As for the mill's plate, I've already prepared the parts. We have 2x2 plates, various technical parts to connect between other buildings, and some other parts that will be used in building this mansion. At the end of the video, we'll talk in more detail about all the minifigures and I will share my opinion. So let's get to unboxing. Okay. Woohoo! So right here we've got, in the box there are 3 plates, 2 sticker sheets like this, quite a few of them, these stickers. So separately, outside the box there are these parts. There are 24 bags here, 3 instructions. First, the initial manual. There's a preface about the house itself, the layout, the designers. And that's the first minifigure we'll be building is, of course, Wolverine. Let's go. Well, here it is, assembled. The X-Mansion, that very Xavier school. Let's start with the cons. The main con for me personally is the size of the mansion. Really, it doesn't match the scale of other Marvel houses. I mean, the Sanctum Sanctorum, Doctor Strange's Sanctuary, the Avengers Tower, the Daily Bugle, it doesn't even come close. First, a lot of space is dedicated to this battle. Yes, of course, they wanted to include everything possible here and sacrificed almost half the space. They could have at least increased it by 2 bricks, which would have given some space, and the floor height ratio compared to other buildings with modular buildings also doesn't match. I have a few theories why they did this. First, do not increase the price of the set, but if you take previous sets like the Avengers Tower, I have heard that this set is selling well, and there are about 18 minifigures if I'm not mistaken. We have assembled about 17 minifigures. In Doctor Strange there is one less, but the building is huge here. But given that it's called a mansion, they should have made it much bigger. The same McAllister house, which is also 2-story, is much taller, so putting them next to each other is pointless. It remains to think where to place this set in my city. Definitely not near modular houses, and definitely not near Avengers buildings. The option remains some green zone with fields, forests. In principle, this house was located somewhere outside the city, possibly make a gravel road for it, but I don't have space for that. Accordingly, temporarily I will place it somewhere in the city, and then we'll think, as there are some pros in this set, possibly this set can be expanded a little bit, either by height adding another floor. If we talk about the comic, I think it's from 90s, based on which this house is made. There it's 3-story, here it's 2-story. Accordingly, you can buy parts and increase it to 3 floors, but its depth in any case doesn't match the realities. Accordingly, we will need to increase its depth. There are additional parts. Essentially, it will have to be completely disassembled, destroyed, and rebuilt. But at least increasing it by 1 floor, there will already be some difference and correspondence with some other buildings. Here, what else are the cons? Some minifigures, the same Wolverine minifigure, which has no prints on the arms. Here, even in the collectible minifigures, Wolverine has prints on the arms. Some minifigures have no prints on the legs. The same Storm, for example, that Magneto, Rogue, no prints on the legs. These, I think, are the main cons. If we talk about the set as a whole, looking at it visually, of course, it looks cool, especially its action capabilities, demonstrating the battle. There are many pins, cuts, where you can take, for example, this minifigure, attach it here, remove it from here, see, it comes up with the wall, and place it here on this side where the chimney is, on this side of the building, behind the building. Everywhere there are these cuts where you can place minifigures. Accordingly, in principle, if you take this battle, some minifigures could be placed back on top of the building, freeing up space and increasing the building's depth. So it happened. This is one of the first options, the budget saving one. The second option, perhaps, Lego decided, well, I'm sure they watch many blockers. They thought that many of them buy 2 sets, make one big one out of them, and gave, so to speak, freedom to the creativity of collectors and bloggers, so to somehow increase these set themselves. Perhaps we're waiting for another separate floor which will be sold separately, and separately we can then integrate it into this house and increase it as it's not standard modularity. Now I will demonstrate it disconnect in this way. Here, technical parts like this, large ones that connect all 3 blocks, so we can increase it and add more sections in width. Maybe we're waiting for some more updates in height and width, but in any case, the depth already doesn't suit us. Visually it looks cool, but it's small. Now let's move on the pros. The plus is that there are many Easter eggs. Second, huge respect. most likely the designers were limited in the number of parts and the volume of the house itself, and the fact that they managed to cram into such a small house on each floor, every square meter here, with some Easter egg, with some details. It's packed to the maximum inside. We'll look at this separately. These are, of course, such action moments. For example, here in the central part, there is such a technical detail. If we press it, the roof collapses. Magneto flies somewhere, and again, you can assemble everything back with such moments. Everything can be returned Magneto to the floor. Not only he flew away, here you can restore everything to its place. Our Magneto is in place. Of course, if you press this button harder, it will fall apart more spectacularly, but I didn't want to do this because here's a concrete floor, and in my city it will be possible to demonstrate this more spectacularly. Each floor, like these roofs, they detach. You can examine, play inside. Since they are small, it would be inconvenient to poke around like this, but here we have everything open to the sides and there is access for fingers to play. The set is of course made as for ages 14 plus, but since the set says 18 plus, against the discrepancy, since 18 plus, set should be more voluminous. Here we can disassemble the house into such pieces. Let's do it now and play with this set in different parts of the house. We started assembling the central part. On the first floor we see, first of all, at the entrance, the X-Men logo. Here's a rug, there are sofas, and the canonical already exit of the third set on the Avengers. This is our third modular set on Marvel. This is the elevator that leads upstairs. Why is there an elevator here? Most likely we have a person with disabilities who has the opportunity to go up to the second. Well, if we talk about canonicity, then to the third floor and go down to the basement where all the action basically happens in the X-Mansion. So, besides this, on the first floor we have several paintings that again transport us to the past when Xavier was still walking. There's a photo of him with Magneto when they opened the school. There are signs indicating where certain rooms are located. Some rooms are dangerous, some are classrooms, and there are training rooms. Outside we are greeted by a beautiful entrance. And on the door there is an inscription, Mutatis Mutandis, which clearly means something. Outside there is a special sticker showing Wolverine, and if you connect it all back, it looks like he scratched the tiles in this effect. This is from the movie where he fights, and I think it's from the first part with the helicopter when he dramatically turned and scratched the ground with his claws. Okay, I also wanted to mention that there are additional stickers with a plus sign that we can stick on the Sentinel. There is a Sentinel outside and you can add Wolverine scratches to it. Some of its internals, wires and bullet holes or other damage visible. You can modify it, but I decided not to stick them on because many bloggers said they look terrible when applied, so I left them as they are. So the Wolverine has a separate hairstyle. So this was the first floor. At the back there is a large sticker showing which mutants have been collected and which are still being sold. In the cartoon there is a similar poster, but it says killed, like it didn't write killed, and instead wrote collected. This is the first floor on the main entrance. On the second floor there's a laboratory and a corner for Cerebro. This is another downside because I would have liked to see a separate room for Cerebro, as it's the foundation of the X-Mansion. Not only is Xavier's office missing this house, but Cerebro only gets a corner. There's a piece with a sticker showing the display when it's searching for mutants. There's also Cerebro's helmet. Anyway, I managed to get the helmet on his head. But on the second floor there's also an MRI scanner with a sticker on it. Under the scanner there's an X-ray image showing that Wolverine is entirely made of adamantium, including his claws. You can put it back. This is the laboratory. There's also a sticker for Cerebro, the Cerebro sticker showing something called M orbiting the planet. This is also a reference to the comics, I think, where there was a meteorite called M. Here is the second floor. There is an elevator that indicates there's a third floor, but it's actually the roof. I would have liked Cerebro to have its own separate room, even if it was small. So accordingly, the roof is, as I showed you before, it's dynamic. So we can move it aside right here. Next, we have built this part. There is a special mount for our Sentinel. The Sentinel turned out really well, by the way. It's very impressive. It has cool details like some lasso that it can use to grab any of the characters and torment them. It has a piece with a print, which is nice because it's not a sticker, it's part of its face. It's quite mobile, but you have to be careful with the shoulders pads as they can pop off. You can even stand it on one leg. So here it is. You can create different action scenes. Here we see it has caused some damage, breaking some pavement tiles. The building itself has broken windows and a damaged facade. So what next? There's also some cool bushes I've never seen before in Lego sets. On the first floor, near the entrance to the training room, there is a magazine on the floor with a sticker about voting on mutant registration. This is not a reference. There's also a screen showing news about mutants being among us, that they are everywhere and that sentinels are attacking. The news anchor is sweating because he is a mutant himself with 3 arms. Here is the base. There's a wall with flames and another with rockets or bombs. Each wall has numbers, which are references to either Earth's name or comics related to the X-Mansion. So outside there is an electrical box that opens into the training room. The designer of this set used similar blocks in the Sanctum Sanctorum set, as that modular building was also his project. There are many such details that he incorporated into this set. There's a basketball hoop and a ball, referencing the latest X-Men animated series where the guys play basketball in the backyard. On the second floor, there is a chessboard, referencing a scene from one of the movies where Magneto plays chess with the Professor Xavier. The chess pieces in this scene were made of plastic, so Magneto couldn't move them. So there is also a display, likely for monitoring the training room, as this is the second floor of the training room. There are lasers, saws, and a camera. It's a dangerous room, better not to go in there. The roof itself is nothing else. This is the second section we built. Moving on to the third section, there is a sign at the front indicating that this is Xavier School for a gifted youngster. The facade is plain with only windows at the back. There is a movable part, again like in the Sanctum Sanctorum, with an air conditioner that also acts as a lever to move something inside. There's a stick here, but I'm not sure what it means. In the backyard there's a trash can with a toad on it, referencing to the toad who is a mutant. Inside the trash can there is not actually trash, there is Beast's head, a sword from some night mutant, and Magneto's coin from the movie, and the Jubilee's coin from the movie. So it's not really trash. There is also Jubilee's gum, which is scattered throughout the house. It's on the roof, in the basement, and on the elevator on some floor. There are about 5 or 6 pieces of gum scattered around the house. The backyard doesn't have much else. It's hard to close the trash can. It doesn't always close properly and the hat gets in the way. On the first floor there is a classroom where Beast is hanging upside down, apparently teaching his students via Zoom. On the floor there's a sticker referencing a guide to Japan, I think from Wolverine's story. The display moves with the air conditioner, revealing a hidden display warning that sentinels are approaching and have already caused damage to this part of the house. This is a kind of secret display. There is also a bookshelf, and that's it for the first floor. On the second floor, there is a Beast's lab. They managed to fit it in here. It looks like he is trying to create a serum to become human again. He spilled coffee on the floor. There's an open drawer, which is a cool feature. There is a display showing that he's designing some kind of a medicine to turn himself back into a human. There is also a room with 2 beds. This is definitely Jubilee's room. Wolverine also stayed here, as there is a dagger and the meme where Wolverine looks at a picture of Jean with Cyclops. That is that meme and sad moment where Wolverine is looking at the picture and the frame. There is also a boombox, which might be a reference to Deadpool, that one who came with a boombox and teased Colossus outside. There is a Statue of Liberty figurine from the movie and a comic book lying on the floor. There is also a calendar with Wolverine. Near the bed there is a bottle, so this is definitely Wolverine corner. It might even be Deadpool's corner. But LEGO won't confirm that since they avoid that character. At the back of the second floor there is another sticker with Nightcrawler and someone with a microphone. I'm not sure who that is. And then there's the roof. That's what the set looks like inside. By the way, in the basement, I think in the third part there's an invitation from Xavier on the floor. It's embedded in the foundation. It's another reference from one of the movies. It's a letter inviting someone to Xavier's school. So that is how the set comes together. Now let's talk about the minifigures. Gambit is incredibly cool. he has a part that looks like it's from Ninjago, repainted. He's well done with printed legs and two face expressions, good and evil. He has this staff and 3 cards, which are stickers. Based on the reference, we'll place him on the Sentinel next to Wolverine. He dramatically flies in and scratches the pavement tiles. The downside is his arms, which are printed. His value isn't as high as it could be, but he was a new face with 2 expressions, a slight smirk and a dissatisfied look. Wolverine is never satisfied, so we'll leave it here, dramatically flying into battle. There is Cyclops, who is fully printed and looks great. He has 2 face expressions, one unhappy and one smiling. There is also a piece that mimics his eye beam. On the roof there is Magneto. He has 2 hair options, one with gray streaks. He has 2 face expressions, a smirk and an angry look. There is also an effect for his superpower. We'll leave him like this for now. Next on the roof is Storm. She has a super cool outfit. Right here, this cloth cape, which I think is the first for Lego minifigures. It looks great. The downside is her corpus, and the back it's from a different set. She has a new skin color. It's from different set, dark brown. She has 2 face expressions, one kind and one where she's charging up with energy. And another minus is her legs with no prints. Next is Iceman. He is white with prints. Legs are also with prints, which is a plus. Many bloggers say his inclusion is unexpected. Many would have preferred to see Beast. Many would have seen Jubilee or other characters, but not him. Then there is Bishop. He has a cool gun. Right here, gun made from parts. He is fully printed with the torso and the legs, 2 face expressions. He turned out great with the hairstyle that matches the movie. Finally, there is Rogue and Jean Grey. Rogue has the iconic gray streaks. She has 2 face expressions, good and evil, and is fully printed. Jean Grey has a new color, a more acidic orange. She also has 2 face expressions, good and evil, and an effect for her superpower. Unfortunately, her legs aren't printed. So, that covers all the minifigures. In the set, there is a lantern flying with some green guns, or maybe just sprinklers watering the lawn. It's unclear. Many bloggers, including me, don't know what they are. That's the set. I think I have said a lot about it. Overall, I am happy to have it. I'm happy with the minifigure collection, and I'm happy with the Sentinel. There are many Easter eggs, but of course I'm not happy with its size, which doesn't even fit my city. So I don't know what we'll do with it. For now it will stay in the city, but eventually it will go on the shelf with other sets when we run out of space. So now we'll take a closer look at all the minifigures and the set in more detail. Don't go away, this was Ruse, the Rubrik channel. Super cool set. Bye everyone.